it's okay if you don't want to be your version of regular.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
everybody thinks each other's version is the same. No, man,
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's regular based on how they grew up, based on what their
Oh,
family gave.
wow.
Everybody's regular is different.
Yeah.
You don't want to remain as your version of regular. Watch it. It's okay to be regular if that's what you want to be.
Right.
He said, what you say, what you do creates pressure, and that pressure creates your environment.
You got challenges that you're going to run across.
Let's talk about everyday people. You
Right.
see people who maybe have had success in the past that don't have that same level of success, and they feel entitled to continue to live that way, which puts them in a bad position to try to maintain a house of cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or some people feel entitled to criticize somebody that's no longer hot, no longer up, right? And I think we gotta be very careful with that piece, right? Where we feel entitled to bring someone down when they're already down.
Let me give you something that probably everybody can relate to, is the hip hop. You got the young rappers now belittling the old guys as if they, like, I think I saw somebody talking about I forget who he was talking about, but he's like, man, that dude didn't make no money. This is the young guy making millions.
Sure.
But during that time, it really wasn't that kind of money being made. You know what I'm saying? It was, they were just getting in the trenches, making it happen. And their success that they had was just like making millions at that time.
Right.
But when you look at it, you think about the movie that was on Netflix about hip hop, kind of like a little love story. And it also was about Grandmaster Flash and they had the little group that really dug into the trenches. Remember the guy, he had a chance to go get a college education, but he also, light-skinned brother, but he also, he was, and I think about that. You putting your foot down and you trying to build something that nobody ever believes in, and they got it there and they were respected for that. But now people don't look back at that and say, okay, damn, if it weren't for these kind of guys, I wouldn't be, but they just kind of,
I went to a concert this past Friday here in Atlanta, the Winterfest, and they had T.I. First of all, our babysitter came over, man, and we're like, yeah, we're going down here. We're going to see T.I. and Jeezy, and we're going to see who else was down there, man? It was a nice show, man.
2 Chainz there.
Lil Jon. So it was a lot of cats, right? But it was a lot of cats from early in the day, man. Like Lil Scrappy and those guys, man. East Side Boys. They had been on the same stage in 20 years. But they had some of the early cats that started off Atlanta music, right? And you could tell, at least from me looking at them, that they didn't have the same kind of lifestyle that the T.I. and Jeezy guys. Right. Ain't like they had the millions.
Right.
And I would hate to see people look down on them because had they not initiated that or broke that ground, right? Well, we say broke the ice. They had not broken ice, man. It wouldn't get halfway for these new cats.
Right.
But just imagine somebody say, "Oh man, you fell off, man." No, they didn't fall off. They just didn't have the same access to the same resources.
Right.
They didn't have streaming and YouTube
or all of that.
Or maybe even the business acumen, or maybe they had 360 deals and they got ripped off from the masses. You don't know what the story was.
And also, I always say there's always a window. I talked about that. You look at everybody. You had Boys and Men had a window.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? All these groups had a window time that they were winning. And then after a while, even Jay-Z said that. He said, I'm not cool no more. Nobody looks at me like that the same. He's went on to do other things, but he's not like that. And so, what he was saying there was, don't let people rub you the wrong way. You got to, feel how you feel and keep going the way the way that you are dealing with what you're dealing with, because people can quickly rub you the wrong way by just saying any little thing. So I did like, though, the way he said the energy.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to lay in that bed that you made. And so you might think you're getting away with it. Even the part that you talk about when they throwing out little blows or whatever, saying something, you might think you're getting away with it, but it's going to come back around on you, because if you created that, some people call it karma, some people say you get what what you deserve, or what you sow, reap what you sow. But he said, unless you want that, then keep doing it. But if you don't, you got to stop at some point and change that energy.
Man, that cat said at the end, May said, it's okay if you don't want to be your version of regular.
Mm.
Yeah. Everybody thinks each other's version is the same. No, man, somebody else's regular based on how they grew up, based on what their family gave. Everybody's regular is different.
Yeah.
You don't want to remain as your version of regular. Watch it. It's okay to be regular if that's what you want to be.
Right.
But if you don't want to be that
way, right, man.
You got to go out there and he said, what you say, what you do creates pressure, and that pressure creates your environment.
Wow.
And he lays tough.
He lays some heavy stuff, because when he said your gift is this, but when you go outside, I've seen that before in our business, where I do a game plan with a person. They say they want to make $1,000 a month. Cool. Let's write that out. And then they go out and they see you making $100,000 a month, or somebody making $50,000 a month. Now they want to go. I understand having a bigger dream, but that's not what you wanted. That's not, you're trying to do something now because you see somebody else doing it, and now you're highly frustrated. Because if you wanted that in the beginning, you would have said that. Now, I know some people say, well, as you get around people, your goals and dreams get bigger, but that ain't what I see with people. I see people really saying, I need $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month. That's what I want. And then they get in another environment, and before they can even get started, now they're even frustrated with them, and you ain't even got to $1,500 a month.
A few things happen there, right? So to your point, they had an initial goal, right? Their goal was artificially expanded because of what they saw, right? Artificially expanded because of what they saw.
Right.
Now, what didn't grow was their emotional quotient. What didn't grow was their work ethic. What didn't grow was their center of influence. What didn't grow was their business acumen. What didn't grow was their ability to have personal self-development to fend off the incoming attacks that they didn't know were coming. Right?
Yeah.
So,
and I don't even believe, even when the attacks came, they didn't get it. They didn't know that they were being attacked like that. They just
right.
But go ahead. Did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
No. I was just trying to say that, yeah, people can start off having a goal, desire, right? And then when they see other people, it does want to evolve out to that. But if you never got here, you can't get here effectively, because there's so many other things that firm that up on the way to the top.
Right.
The wind can blow and knock that tower over.
Oh yeah, quickly.
Yeah.
So he talked about also survival mode, and he talked about how when you're not making enough to pay your bills. Like I've heard him even one time before talk about Maslow and that hierarchy of needs. That bottom level is food, shelter, coat for the winter, and cool in the summer and all that kind of stuff. When you don't have that, all morals go out the window. And so when you judging people in the hood for doing certain things, I know you can say, well, they know how to do right and all that, but doing right is not in their mindset when they have nothing and they're not making anything. And so I know, oh man, they could be working here. They could be, but some people are not. Some people don't have that opportunity. Some people don't get that job. Some people don't have that. And so even after you start, you can see, like you said, he saw a change in himself as he started making more money.
Sure.
He came up out of that to where now he can really think straight. And now morals are not going out the window. He's actually looking at stuff morally and saying, okay, but if you go through the hood and you see people that are like, I think a lot of people don't understand what dead broke is. Like not having $2, not having, I don't think a lot of people, they like, no, that can't be. And it's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. And, you said something and said, well, people may not do right in certain circumstances, right? Is it not right to feed your family? Is it not right to, what Biggie said, man, y'all were laughing when I was trying to put diapers on my baby.
Right.
Now do we continue to do now when the money comes in the way that most people don't look as right? Do we continue to go down that path? So yeah, so that's a whole different thing.
Right,
but
right.
At what point do you stop being right in a survival mode when you start getting out of it? Right. Well, what point do you shift those resources into other things to get out of it? It's very difficult to make that switch.
Well, yeah, it kind of depends on the person you are too. It's kind of like that, because there's a lot of guys who it's very difficult for them to stop selling drugs when they know they should. But then there's some guys who will, because they didn't want to be there anyway. They didn't want the limelight anyway. They didn't want the fame anyway. They just wanted the money.
Right.
And so when it came, they could do it. But some people get attracted to that money and that fame, and that's more important to them than anything else. So they can't even see themselves. We did a clip on me and Lewis, my partner, did a clip on Superfly, the original one. Mm-hmm. And there was a scene in there where Superfly was telling this guy, hey man, we got enough to get out the game and we can leave now. We can. And the guy was like, hell no, I ain't going. I'm gonna make as much money. And it was almost like Superfly was talking to his original self. And then he grown and changed to where now he's like, I got to move on. But his original self, the old thinker, is still there fighting with him. And that goes back to the point you made, that some people, once they get money, morally still might not want to. But a lot of people do. They're not, like you said, they got to feed their babies. They don't care about, that's more important to come home with some food and some money or something. They're not caring it. They're not thinking morally because they're struggling.
Yeah, that's true. Survival, success, and significance, man. And it's once you're in survival mode, man, to change that mindset. It's like any addiction. It's like a gambler's addiction. Somebody can go roll, go play some cards, dice, whatever, and next thing you know, they up $100,000 and they go back 20, but they came in with 10. So now they're at $80,000. They started with 10. Like, man, let me just get back to this 100,000. I'm gonna quit. Yeah. And you know what? No, you made 70. And then they wind up being in that same vein, man, and go down the path of losing more than 10.
Yep.
So, like it's the same concept. The losing more in the other game is, maybe you get locked up or something happens or something bad happens to somebody. So, we gotta be mindful of not losing sight of what the original goal was. Mm-hmm. And again, was the original goal to live a lifestyle long term doing something, or was the original goal to set up shop so I can get out and do something else?
Right.
Most times we don't think that.
No, you kind of. I heard a guy say one day that if selling drugs, he was talking about rappers who claim they sold a lot. Mm-hmm. If selling drugs was making him that much money, then he wouldn't get into the rap game. Now, there's a point there. But then again, what if that person says, that ain't, this is what I want. Yeah, everybody don't think just that way now, because, everybody not, some people don't see past, they don't see jail, they don't see dying. They just kind of thinking it ain't going to happen to them.
They're living in the moment. Yeah.
Another thing he said was, don't quit from your dreams and goals. And that could easily, he says so many things being thrown at you that, and it's almost like it's supposed to be like that. You're not going to get something easy if that's your goal and dream. You got to fight. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenges that you have. You're not going to climb this ladder without dealing with that.
Yeah, and when he said don't quit, he talked about, because on the other side of quitting is you learning, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was powerful too, man, because
make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.